Wow, I actually got the right intro right this time. Holy cow. This might actually be a good show today, Gio.
It's time to get rolling. Trey's got
Oh,
everything back.
oh man. Yeah, this is the fantasy countdown. You know, I have Sweep the League shirt on today.
Apparently, I didn't get the memo.
Apparently, you didn't. I mean, I don't know what's up with Rudy. It ain't like he's busy or anything today. It ain't like he got nothing big going on today. I don't know. I mean, he's just sitting back, relaxing, watching Atlanta Falcons. Oh, no, they're off today. So I don't know what he's doing. He's slacking today. But anyway, this is Fantasy Countdown, where we make all your dreams your wins a win, your losses a win, and your whatever the case may be. Make your fantasy wins a reality. That's what I was trying to say. It was a long night for me. I was in downtown San Antonio last night. Went to UTSA. Went to the homecoming festivities where UTSA dominated Rice. That's a good team over there, fellas. I mean that.
Hey, no, they've been doing a good job. I know I've been
a good team.
Making fun of them throughout the years, but
Jeff Traylor has turned that team around. You better give him all the money you want because he's probably going to be leaving after this year. I'm telling you. Probably to Tech. But anyway, I went with Rudy and them getting the show going. Remember tonight, the debut of the fantasy. What am I trying to say? The Sweep the League. Sweep the League, the radio show from 7 to 9 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Man, it's going to be a great show. 2 hours. Rudy Campos, Derek Irvin. Met him last night. Great guy. Loves every sport in the world. I mean, he's just an exciting guy. Make sure you tune in tonight from 7 to 9. They'll be live capturing the game that's the NFL, the Steelers Seahawks game tonight. I don't even know that's a good game because Russell Wilson's out. Seahawks defense sucks. Ben Roethlisberger can't throw the ball deep, but we'll get in that game a little bit later. But make sure you catch out the Sweep the League, the radio show tonight from 7 to 9 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Rudy and them will take you on a fun-filled ride. All right, I think I got all that. It was a long weekend, dude. Anyway. You can follow us at Coach Gio. That's 2 O's at the end because apparently there's already a Coach Gio out there, and I don't know why he has not changed it yet because they know there's only one Coach Gio, and that's here with us on the Fantasy Countdown and Sweep the League. You can follow me at Trey3025. Also, you can follow Will. Will's not here either. Apparently, he had something big going on. I don't know what's going on today.
Everyone is big time with us, man.
I know, man. What's up with this? Everyone just leave us hanging dry, but whatever. You can follow him at WillNation7. Also, you can follow Rudy Campos Jr. at Sweep the League. That is Sweep the League. And then Austin Hartsfield, who's probably busy writing some postseason, how the Astros sucked it up last night or something like that. You can follow him at Hartsfield at MLB. That is all of us on Twitter right now. Remember, today's the day. Dude, I slipped again. There is an 8:30 game today. I didn't know because it's two crappy teams.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, shit.
I did. I turned on the TV guy. I'm like,
did I have any
game on? The Dolphins and Jaguars are currently playing right now. Dolphins held a 10-3 lead. I actually kind of picked the Jaguars to win this game. I thought they were going to get the first win because they're in their home stadium or their home country. Because apparently England likes them and we don't. I don't know why they haven't moved them over there yet, but they need to go ahead and do that because Jacksonville cannot support that Jaguars team, especially this Jaguars team. This Jaguars team's horrific. I take back my 6 wins. I don't think they're going to win a game this year. They're horrific. Urban Meyer's going to get lap dances at USC next year, I believe, and everything like that. So, but thank God for John Gruden, right? Took him off the hot seat with Urban Meyer. I'll tell you that.
John, anyway, he got off the hook.
He did. But yeah, so make sure you go to DraftKings. Use the promo code TPPN. Use that code to get, even though there's already a game started, it's not too late to sign up. They have anything from 1 o'clock games to the afternoon games, and then they have the Sunday night game, and then they have a Monday night game as well. Basketball season starting on Tuesday night. Can you believe it, Gio? We're going to have all 4 sports at one time. This is amazing. I love October. It's fall in the air. I'm wearing sweats, man.
I mean, the baseball playoffs, I mean, they're great. I mean, they are.
The Braves walked off last night. Dodger fans on Twitter.
Can the Braves get over the hump? Can they? Remember last year?
They had a 3-1 lead last year. They had a 3-1 lead, and they blew it. I think they get it done this year. I think they get it done. I think they have home field advantage. I think they get it done.
It's going to be a tough series. I mean, the Dodgers are not going anywhere, but shout out to Rudy. I know he had a rough week. I know he has a new
felt bad for him. That check swing, you cannot end a playoff series on that. You can't. That was not in all our Dodgers fans.
Unless it's blatant,
They cost us a division with that. I'm like, oh, shut up. That's not different. That's regular season. This is like whatever. Anyway, so all four leagues going on right now. College football as well. Man, everything going on. Make sure you go to DraftKings. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
Georgia Bulldogs.
We're going to get into that a little bit later. Okay, big games today. Parlays.
It's not the greatest day for parlays, but
no, I'm not doing any parlays.
I think there's money to be had. I mean, we got this Dolphins game. I was going to pick the Dolphins. I ended up falling asleep doing my parlays last night. But the Dolphins are there. The Browns, against the Chargers, that's a toss-up game. That's a tough one to parlay there. I mean, I expect the Chiefs to come out and win this week against the Washington football team. There's some decent plays this week for parlay. I mean, the past few weeks have been a little bit better, but hey, you know what? Just go out there and get your parlays, or get parlays for how many yards, how many stats, how many receptions. Those are also a little bit more easier to kind of grab. So you have to put a long parlay of like 10 players, but.
Yeah. So go to Busher.com/sweep the lead to get all that started. Gio just gave you the heads up on the parlay. If you want to do parlays, prop bets as well. I mean, you can make some money today. Today could be the day you make some money. There's a bye week start this week, which everyone starts hating this kind of year because the bye weeks and everything, not much games going on. But go to Busher.com/sweep the lead to get started on that today. Also, if you want to go to, if you get your car damaged, whatever the case may be, take it to Lewis at United Collision Care Center. They'll take good care of you over there. They'll make it look brand new, everything like that. So go take it over there to United Collision Care Center. They'll get you up and rolling in no time. And also shout out to Project Spurs for sponsoring today's show. Couldn't do it without you guys. Go check out those guys at Project Spurs. NBA starts on Tuesday night. They'll have all the latest updates on the Spurs news, everything like that. They also do some football podcasts at the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, the 4-1 Dallas Cowboys. They do a lot of podcasts on that too. I know you're shaking your head, but man, I'm not gonna talk much Cowboys today. But anyway, all right, let's get this show started. If I can get my schedule pulled up here, having a little bit of internet issues myself.
We got the Rams at the New York Football Giants today.
If you want to start with that game, go ahead. Go take it away.
Yeah, Rams coming in. I thought a good win last week against a decent team. At least on offense, they're pretty good. On defense, they're pretty bad. But the Rams take care of the Seahawks. I think this is a kind of a get-right game on offense. The Giants, though, the last year, that game was close. I mean, it took a Cooper Kupp late touchdown to beat the Giants. So the Rams coming in, I think the Rams put their foot on the pedal here. No playing around. It's a business trip to New York. And the Rams, the past few weeks, where they've been traveling, they've been going this Saturday, right? So they're traveling Saturday, play Sunday, and they're out of New York. So I think it's a quick stop. Beat the Giants today. Daniel Jones got destroyed last week. I will say, though, Darius Toney, for fantasy purposes, he looked pretty good against your Cowboys last week, Trey. He had a big day receiving yards. I think all in all, it's a decent day. The Rams secondary can be had. They've been struggling with Jalen Ramsey in certain spots. So if you're a Giants owner, Tony, is Barkley playing this week, Trey?
No,
I don't think so, right? So the Giants, all they probably can do is throw this week. So garbage touchdown. You're going to play your Rams, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee. But give me the Rams this week to take care of the Giants. So the Rams should not be taking them lightly. You don't take any team lightly. Not even the Oklahoma State Cowboys. But go ahead, Trey.
I knew you were going there. Whatever. Longhorns blew another second half lead. Apparently, they don't have to make adjustments or anything like that. Apparently, they can't tackle in the second half. But anyway, we're talking NFL today. Yeah, I'm with you. It's kind of a trap game. I mean, because the Giants, no Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones, I think, got out of concussion protocol. I think we're going to get the final here in a little bit, see if he's going to play. But all sign, Joe Judge says that he is going to probably play today. I don't know how because he looked like he was drunker than.
Yeah, I think Sterling Shepard's playing today.
Yeah, I think.
So you trust me, Rams secondary has not played as well as it did last year. Ramsey's been playing all over the place, but I think you can get a garbage time touchdown or two potentially in this game from any of those wide receivers. So,
yeah, just remember, like, garbage time is usually where all the fantasy points are won and lost. That's why a lot of people – because, like, your team could be winning and they put garbage, but they still have the first team in against the second team unit, and then they get all these garbage time points. But, yeah, I'm with you. I could give me the Rams today. It might be a little closer than the experts think. Rams might have a little –
yeah, no, I mean, depending on the weather, right? I mean, I'm not sure how it is over there in the Meadowlands, but I think it could be a tough game. The Giants played Rams well last year, though 3 years ago, the Rams did put up close to 50 points on them. But Stafford plays well outdoors. He's played well in outdoor environments. It's not Jared Goff, you know how he's just historically outdoors, doesn't play particularly well in weather games. But Stafford's played in Green Bay. He's played on the road in certain spots. So I think Rams will be all right, but I think it could be a tough matchup. Maybe at the beginning of the game if the Rams come out a little flat.
And who's the backup for the Giants? Booker for Shaquan? Is that his name?
Booker. I mean, hey,
I want to pick him up today. I want to play him today.
If you're desperate, Trey, if you don't have any answers, I think you go with Booker. The volume might be there, a touchdown or two. Like I said, the Rams secondary does not been playing particularly great. So could he get free on a reception? Sure.
Could.
So, yeah.
All right, let's move on from your Rams. We all know the Rams are going to win. Let's go to the great game of the Texans versus the Colts. 1-4 versus 1-4. I mean, we all know who's going to be playing today. You're going to be playing Jonathan Taylor. Carson on DraftKings, if you can get Carson Wentz on the cheap today, even though the Texans secondary have created 6 turnovers or 6 interceptions
on the year.
Shout
out to Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith's been doing for what he has, Trey. I think he's been doing a fine job.
Lovie Smith is not a great head coach, but he is a great defensive coordinator. Like, if you just let him not control the whole team, but just one side of the ball, he is an excellent.
And they've been competitive. I mean, even in that Browns game, they were up there until they kind of wear down, obviously. But this the Texans team is going to be very competitive. I like this game here. I don't think the Texans will win this game. I just think the Colts, Trey, they're due for an explosion. I mean, this was a team, Trey, that some people thought would make the playoffs. And right now, they're 1-4, searching for answers. And if they lose this week against the Texans, I can we say that's it? I mean, that's probably going to be it.
Well, it depends on that Monday night game against the Titans, right? If the
Titans lose, the Titans will be part of my parlay. I think they'll beat the Bills this week. The Bills are riding high, Trey, and you know how this league does it. You start riding high, and then you play against a team like Tennessee, who has been just running the rock. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But give me the Colts this week. Jonathan Taylor, Pittman as a receiver. Mm-hmm. There's some other guys there for maybe DraftKings purposes like Pascal and some of these other guys who can really stretch the field. But for the Texans, probably Brandon Cooks. He's been playing well. I mean, you're probably starting Brandon Cooks in most leagues, I believe, if you've kind of drafted him fairly. Or I guess that kind of depends how your league's set up. But to be honest, I don't like anybody else for fantasy. I don't love this game for fantasy purposes.
Neither.
But I do feel like there's going to be fantasy points of relevance. Just Jonathan Taylor played well last week. I mean, he has been well advertised. The offensive line is playing well. So he's going to get his spots. I mean, is this a game you parlay, Trey? Is this a game that you pick? What's the line on this? Maybe you do more of a line parlay with this. I don't know if you pick an outright winner because
I think it's 6.5.
Oh, you know what? I might take the under on that. But anyway, give me the Colts. Come on, Indianapolis. Get get a win. Lamar Jackson, who I picked, by the way, to win the AFC North, they're looking pretty good right now, Trey.
They're looking good now, but we're only a quarter way through the season. Remember, this is a marathon, buddy. There's 17 games this year, not just 16.
Hey, you know what? I think he's
you're
been
right.
looking pretty good, though.
And they're going to get all their healthy players back. People getting off COVID lists. Ooh, you might be right on that one, but like you said, I don't like this one for fantasy purposes either. You're going to play, of course, Jonathan Taylor, Pittman, but you're going to play Brandon Cooks on the Houston Texans side. But other than that, I wouldn't touch anybody else on this game. But moving on, we're going to your neck of the woods. First place up for grabs. Bears, Packers.
Ooh.
Justin Fields gets his second career start. Aaron Rodgers has owned the Chicago Bears over the past. This one in Soldier Field. That I think this game's going to be close. Fantasy-wise, you're playing everybody in the world in this game. You're playing Aaron Rodgers. You're playing Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones.
So Damian Williams, Trey, is out. So the backup running back for him, I forgot his name, but he played pretty well against the Raiders last week. Might get some volume here. I think the Bears have been trying to run the football, and I think we've seen that the past few weeks. But Trey, for fantasy purposes, I mean, listen, the Packers, you're obviously playing Aaron Rodgers this week. You wouldn't sit him down. Devontae Adams, Tanyan, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He hasn't been great. I mean, he's been all right. If you don't have any options at tight end, you're obviously going to start him this week. But Trey, I think that's it. And also, obviously, Aaron Jones. But you're not starting all the other receivers for the Packers. They're up and down inconsistently.
Well, here's a question for you. On draft, like a DraftKings daily league, would you get Justin Fields on the cheap today to build your roster?
I think you can. I think the Packers defense can be had. We've seen it this year.
Well, there's no Alexander. He's out.
Alexander, as well as their other linebacker, forgot his name. I think he might still be out. They did bring in the Cowboys, but
Jalen Smith.
We've seen how Jalen's been on run stopping. So
you mean he runs to the block instead of filling the hole, that Jalen Smith?
It's a rivalry game. Bears are picking up some steam here. I mean, I'm going with the Packers, Trey, but the Bears fans here, from getting a pulse, they're ready to go today. It's an early game, and it's pretty beautiful weather out here. I think it's in the 50s, but and for the Bears side, I mean, Allen Robinson, I mean, Trey, he's kind of been he's just been there, man. It's it's like can you start it with confidence? Probably not. I think you'd rather have Nick Foles back there slinging it to him than Fields. But I think Fields will get a little bit more comfortable. As we said last week, Trey, just do what he does best. Run him out the pocket, get him free, get him in space, make plays. It's going to be a little bit unorthodox, and try to win this game. I think they have the defense to compete. This defense has been playing well after that Rams shabacle in that first game. The defense has been playing well. They beat the Bengals. They've gone ahead, and so give me Packers today. But I would love for a Bears win, though.
I would too. I would love a Bears win, but for some reason Aaron Rodgers always wins. I don't understand it. But Justin Fields I think he's going to get more and more confidence as the season progresses if Matt Nagy doesn't get in the way. If Matt Nagy keeps giving him Justin Fields plays instead of what's his name? Dalton plays. You just give him what Fields does very well. You see what Fields can do. I think Fields is going to get confidence. I think he's going to start reading the defenses a little bit better. I think getting full team reps and first practices all week long, don't have to look over his shoulder right now. I think Fields has a good day, especially with the banged up secondary that the Packers do have. The linebackers out, like you said.
Yeah, I think, but
I'm not picking against the Packers. I think the Bears do win this game.
The Packers try to get Allen Robinson. I mean, Trey has one touchdown. No one has 180 yards receiving. I mean, and
if I'm Allen Robinson, I'm leaving after this year.
He right now, unfortunately, it's not him. It really isn't. We saw what he did last year with Nick Foles and the the damn piano quarterback, and they made the playoffs last year.
No, with Nick Foles, Trubisky.
Yeah, with Trubisky. So he can play with any quarterback. We saw him in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles, and so
poor guy has not had a good.
Get him the football. You have to get your best player to football. Do you see what they do to Devontae Adams? They give him like 30 targets a game.
I know.
Find a way to get him the ball.
I totally agree with you. Matt Nagy's got to do that. Matt Nagy, he's on the hot seat. He's got to realize he's on the hot seat, and he's got to find a way to get your best player the ball, your playmaker the ball. He can, man, if you give him the back, like put him in running back, he can still make a play. I mean, he could break away. He has breakaway speed. He can definitely give you some points, but Matt Nagy's got to get out of the way. Poor guy just has Robinson has not had a good quarterback, and he's cursed with quarterbacks. I don't understand it, but anyway. Moving on. I cannot believe I'm saying this. The battle of the 2 and 3 teams. Washington football team hosts those Kansas City Chiefs. Has the league got up to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? Or is Patrick Mahomes just trying to press too much because he can't trust that defense?
Really could be a little bit of everything here. Listen, the blueprint was kind of set in that Super Bowl, right? You're not letting anything deep, Trey.
Nope.
And you're not blitzing. You're rushing with 4 for the most part. You're playing coverage in the back half, and teams have been playing particularly well. Also, Trey, these guys are getting older, man. Tyreek's getting older. Kelsey's getting older, right? Which each passing year, the blows are adding up, right? You're getting a little slower as you age. Not that Tyreek Hill is going to get any slower, because I saw him against the Eagles just destroy the secondary. But teams are starting to understand what the philosophy is. And the problem is, too, Trey, is the Chiefs can't run the football particularly well. And what have I been saying? They run the ball a lot out of the shotgun. It's an unconventional way of running the football a lot of the times. Andy Reid used to run the ball a lot with Westbrook and Jamal Charles and some of the guys he's had, Spencer Ware. But unfortunately, Trey, the way they run the football, I don't think it's really enough. You need to be under center. They might need to go get another back to split carries with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, because as good as Helaire is, they can't seem to get him the ball, I think, enough to limit those teams and how they prepare for them. But anyway, for this week, Trey, give me Kansas City. I find it hard to believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go 2-4 on the season. The Washington football team, that defense has been not well advertised. They've been up and down all season long. They're 2-3. Heineke just has been okay, but not great. You can't sit here and tell me that he's going to outduel Mahomes. I know it's in Washington. I know all that. The Hogs are going to be out, but give me Kansas City. You're going to play Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Damian Williams, Trey, I actually love how he runs, and I think it fits the offense a little bit more. Because, look, he's a straight runner. He's a north-south runner. He's not like Clyde, who's a juke and wants to get out there in space. Damian's just going to go straight ahead. I think Damian Williams can be a nice play today against the Washington football team who's been struggling. I think Andy Reid would try to run the ball today and really kind of neutralize that pass rush. So Damian Williams, put him in your fantasy lineup this week. I think this could be the week they get going on the running game. And then on the other side, Antonio Gibson, you're going to play him. And Terry McLaurin, Trey, he doesn't get enough word. I mean, I guess thing going about he's one of the best receivers in the league, but I saw him play against Buffalo, and he's a really, really good receiver. Like, his footwork is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Terry McLaurin. I don't have him this year, unfortunately, but he is a beast. But give me the Chiefs today, Trey. They can't go down 2-4. They just can't.
If they go 2-4, they're done. They're not winning division. They're not making them. They might have a chance at the wild card, but 2-4, the way the Chargers are playing right now, Raiders are coming back down to earth after the John Gruden mess. Denver Broncos, we know who they are. They're coming back down to earth, but the Chargers are going to run away with his division if the Kansas City Chiefs go down 2-4. Can they still make the wild card? Probably, because you take 3 teams out of the wild card this year, so they really do have a chance on that. But they can't go down 2-4. I mean, let's just face it. The AFC West is down to 3 teams or 2 teams. The Buffalo Bills, and the Chargers, or even I'll put the Ravens in there. I'm not putting Kansas City in there right now after the way I've seen. But I think Patrick Mahomes is pressing too much. Yeah, they're playing too deep safety, but he's got to watch Tom Brady film, right? He's got to be like, just get what the defense gives you, man. You have playmakers on the. I know you want the deep long ball, the chicks love the long ball and everything like that. But man, if you give Tyreek Hill in space with his own coverage against two safety deep, that guy can make some play. He can give you 10 to 15 yards every time if you just give him the ball in open space and say those deep over the shoulder passes against two safeties. I know it's sexy and everything, and he's got to stop those no look passes. I think his backyard play is catching up with him a little bit.
That defense
is horrendous.
When you're giving up 30 points a game, Dre, I mean.
So you're telling me this game's going to be 60-60 at the end of the fourth quarter?
I just don't think Washington has enough arsenal. Samuels did come back last week, but I don't think they have enough, Trey. But this defense might let them be enough. You know what I'm saying? That's how poorly they play. Steve Spagnuolo, I mean, this defense is looking like the defense of Patrick Mahomes' second year when they fired the guy after the Patriots game. They're going to keep Spags for the whole year. They won a Super Bowl with him. But honestly, Trey, the Chiefs defense historically the past 4 years, they haven't been great, but they haven't been this bad.
Well, with the Chiefs defense, they haven't been great, but they always get that key turnovers, those turnovers right when they need
also,
it.
Also, Trey, the Chiefs are normally ahead, so you can kind of free ball your play calls on defense. But anyway, give me Kansas City today. I like Damian Williams. I actually love him this week for maybe a touchdown and maybe 60, 70 yards. But I think Andy Reid knows, hey, let's go back to the basics. Let's get these guys open. And you don't have to score deep plays down the field, Trey, every play.
No.
Chunks. Kansas City, put that in your parlay. They need to win today.
Yeah, and going back to that, what's the best way to help your defense out? Keep them off the field, right? So there's those long draw. You got to keep – they want score quick, but they could keep them off the field.
And also their safety
get the game in short.
Is it Arnie Sorensen or whoever that safety is back there, Trey? Tyrann Mathieu was giving him a mouthful. There was a picture of him always lifting up his hands when Sorensen was always getting beat. But anyway, let's move on to the next game, man, because the Chiefs should win this.
All right. The Bengals are facing the Lions, the crying Campbell Lions, man. I think this is the week. Bengals are kind of the unknown team. They're playing well. They have a great offense, but they're young, and they're gonna are they gonna see the record of the Lions like they're 0-5? But really, they're really not 0-5. They've had 2 50-plus yard field goals at the end of the game to win the game. One that's 66-yarder by Justin Tucker to clump off the crossbar to go over, which I've never seen him before in my life. I like the way Campbell responded after the game, crying, picking up their players. I think the players are going to play well for Campbell today. I think Goff's going to have a good game. I hate saying that because I have Chase in a lot of my fantasy leagues this year, but I think the Lions actually get a win today. But I think that it goes opposite. I think they kick the game-winning field goal to win the game today. Gio, am I wrong?
Great. But I've been picking the Bengals all week, but I think you just made me a believer.
Wow.
Honestly, after what you just said, this is the thing. When you play a team that's and whatever, for the most part, they're coming out slinging. And I think Dan Campbell, to his credit, I know we made fun of him when he was talking about eating kneecaps and all that stuff, but I think they're playing hard for him. You could see the level of effort that they're playing with. It's not like last week when the Raiders came out. You can tell their heart wasn't in it. They just were not in that game, and it showed. But Campbell's been getting them to play hard. I'm going to go with the Lions here to win. And give me some Swift this week. Swift has not been, at least last week, okay. I think the problem is they're getting down in certain spots. They got to keep throwing the ball. Jared Goff could have a nice game. Hawkinson, right? You're obviously going to start Hawkinson from week to week. And from the Bengals side, you're going to start Chase and I'm sure Higgins. Tyler Boyd has just been the odd man out. And I fear that from week to week, there's going to be an odd man out. And it could be happening like that for a few weeks until they can get that guy going. And then someone else is going to be like the odd man, kind of a weird kind of musical chairs for the Bengals. Is Mixon playing this week?
I thought I heard he was, but the final report hasn't came out yet.
P. Ryan did have a touchdown or Samaje P. Ryan did have a touchdown last week. So he could be a nice play there. For the Bengals, sure, you kind of alluded to it. They're a young team, inconsistent. We saw them win, and then they go against the Bears, and they lay an egg, right? And then they go win, and then it's a young team. You could see that team progressing and getting better. Give me the Lions. You made me a believer, but you normally don't. Give me the Lions to finally get their win. I think this could be the week. The Bengals might be sleeping, but the Bengals could also blow them out by 30 points.
Exactly. So, I'm not touching this game, by the way. I'm
not. I don't think you touch this for any money line or even for any of the cover, whatever you want to do there. There's some tough money line games today. They're not great. This is not a good one.
I mean, both teams are coming off heartbreaking losses last week. Lions go for 2. They're up by 30. Kirk Cousins somehow drives the ball down the field to kick a game-winning field goal, 50-yard field goal to win that game. And then the Bengals missed 2 extra field goals to win the game. That game where they missed 5 field goals, and finally Crosby finally hits the game-winning field goal in overtime. It was a bad week for kickers. I mean, if you had kickers in your fantasy, depending on kickers on fantasy last week, good luck to you because it did not happen.
You're lucky that some leagues you get negative points from missed kicks.
That's true.
So some of these guys probably had negative with Crosby.
Adam Barber trying to my main man, Trey Calls. Yeah. What's up, Adam? Miss you over there on Coast to Coast. Go check out those guys on Coast to Coast. They have everything, not only sports-wise, but they have movie trivia night. They have everything, cooking shows, everything. Go check out Coast to Coast. They have everything, not only sports, but everything covered from lifestyle events to cook, everything you want. So go check out Coast to Coast. They have you all set up over there. All right, we'll move right along because I know you really want to get – I think this is the best noon game of the week, the Chargers and Ravens, and I don't get to watch it because I get the Colts Texans because it's stupid market television, whatever. That's where I'm mad at the NFL, but that's another subject for another day. Why can't we be like the college football? Why can't we be like we have all these networks? You know how much more money you would make if you had it on FS1 and all, whatever. But anyway, Chargers, Ravens riding high after, man, this team does not quit, man. Lamar Jackson in top 5 voting get of the MVP right now. He's still not my MVP. He sets to prove it to me a couple more weeks. He threw a great ball last week. Marcus Brown, after that a couple weeks ago of the drop D's, he finally showing out, man. Chargers are playing a great ball after losing to the Dallas Cowboys. They've been nothing but honestly, they could be 5-0 right now. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. If the referees didn't give up a couple flags over there in the red zone, great game. Justin Herbert's 8-1 record in his last 9 games. You're playing everybody in this game. It's going to be a great game. I mean, hopefully Red Zone shows a lot of this game today because my eyes will be glued to this game. Gio, what's your thoughts on this game?
Trey, if you have a tablet, I'll show you how to watch those games.
I got plenty of tablets.
Okay.
I'm watching the Jags and Dolphins right now.
I'll show you how to – there's a particular website that I've been doing, though. I do watch most of my games on Sunday Ticket, but sometimes if I want to have my tablet on, and I don't maybe have Sunday Ticket on my tablet, I don't think so. But anyway, give me the Ravens today. Last week, what I'm looking at, the Browns ran the football so consistently and so well that to me, I feel like the Ravens can even match that against that front of the Chargers and run the football and keep Herbert off the field because that's going to be key. That offense is rolling right now. And shout out to Williams. Michael, is it Michael Williams? What's his first name?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. He's been phenomenal. He killed me last week in fantasy football. But Keaton Allen, Eckler, you're starting the cast of crews. And for the Ravens, listen, you're starting Lamar Jackson. Hollywood Brown has been not a surprise, Trey, but he's been very consistent. I know he had some drops against the Lions, but if you look at his stats, Trey, he's been well advertised as not a number one, but man, just a really, really good player. Bateman comes back this week, Trey, which means, hey, you know what? Could see some Bateman action. And then also Mark Andrews, you're going to start him. And at the running back spot, it's been kind of weird, Trey. They've been rotating guys. You got Murray, Williams, Le'Veon Bell, Freeman. So the running back wise, I'm not quite sure where that's going to fit, but you're starting everyone else this week. Maybe not Bateman. Give him a week and see what he does. Continue. He's going to kind of progress slow. But Hollywood Brown, I could see him get deep this week. This is going to be – I think Trey's going to be a shootout. I honestly think this is going to be a shootout. And whoever has that last one wins. But give me the Ravens today. I think running the football, slowing the pace down as much as they can, but still being a shootout in a weird way, give me Ravens. But I love the Chargers here too, though. And again, Trey, it's another bad game for parlays. This is not
this week might be the week that you just sit back and just
prop bets.
Prop
this week. I have a bunch of them being set. So
this is where I also have a problem. And I'm not trying to pick on the NFL, but the West Coast gets so shafted in these games. Like they have to travel to the East Coast. Not only they got to travel to the East Coast, it's going to be a 10 o'clock kickoff start for them. I mean, come on. Can you just give them why can't this be a 3:25 game? And whatever. But anyway, that's where I'm like, will the Chargers be up and ready in the first half? Or will they still be asleep because it's a 10 o'clock game?
That's the thing. And for me, I feel like, do you come the night before? Do you come Friday? And I don't know how their schedule was.
I don't know how they do it. Like, do you?
I would assume you
practice earlier. I guess
maybe you get there Saturday night, man, because if you go on a Friday, I guess it's fine. Your body gets used to it, but different methods. Some teams, Trey, if they have a second game. So let's say you're playing the Giants one week, you're playing the Jets. A lot of teams will just stay. They'll stay the whole 2 weeks. Or they may just leave and then come back just to kind of get a decent right. But, if you look at Adam's comment, he says Chargers by 3. I mean, this is a tough game to pick. It's not a –
But I will say this. In the last couple of years, the Chargers were the Cowboys of the AFC, right? Like, any way they could lose, they would lose. This year, it's not happening except for against the Cowboys.
Anthony Lynn was the culprit there as head coach. Ironically, he's with the Detroit Lions, which they've been finding ways to lose. Not trying to say there's a correlation of Anthony Lynn. I think he's a fine man, but it's kind of weird how it's happening to him now in Detroit, Trey.
Yeah, I know. But hey, Adam Barber chiming in. Herbert is balling out, and Lamar looks good last week. This should be a good game, of course. It should be. Of course,
it's going to be a phenomenal game.
That's the best news. Well, I don't know. Bears Packers also a good game, but I think the Chargers win this game. I think the Monday night game being a Monday night game, I think the emotional swing, the way the Ravens came back and won that game, will take its toll on the Ravens. But then does it cancel out with the 10 o'clock Pacific time kickoff for the Chargers? I don't know. This is a pick. Like you said, I'm not touching this game. There's a lot of games I'm not touching.
If it was a 1 o'clock start for the Chargers,
yeah.
If they were going to a team that plays at 4 or 3, whatever, then I think that's okay. But those 10 a.m. games, I don't know.
Yeah, but honestly, I think the Chargers find a way to pull it out. I think this is a different team this year. I think they want to prove that they're the best team in the AFC West. I mean, since the end of last year to this year, Justin Herbert's been the MVP of the league. I mean, hasn't been more of a consistent quarterback. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, if you can want to go that far, but he was inconsistent. He was wildly inconsistent in the championship game.
And you know what? I was wrong about Herbert.
A lot of people were, and I was. That's actually one of the draft picks I actually got right. I was like, Herbert's going to wreck this league.
Not that I was wrong.
It was the style of offense right at Oregon, right? It was like you didn't know what you were actually going to do.
I wasn't sure. I thought he should be drafted in the top 10. I didn't say he was going to be a bust. Just wasn't really sure about him. But, man, did he – woo, that's a bad man there.
Is he the best quarterback out of that draft?
We'll wait and see, Trey. I thought there were some some pretty good ones, but he's probably right now,
He has the better weapons around him.
and that's the key, Trey. Where you end up is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So important. You look at some of these quarterbacks. Look at Sam Bradford. He goes to the St. Louis Rams and of dysfunction of a franchise at that time. And now he did make a lot of money, which was weird. But he was a journeyman quarterback. But anyway, it depends where you go, what's set up, and how your coaches coach for success. And so far, he threw for 30 touchdowns. I mean, he's just been good. He's just been good.
And that's why you touched on it a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next game. That's where the new CBA came in effect, and that's what I actually like about the new CBA. You can't give these rookie quarterbacks 50, 60.
They stopped at 2014.
They stopped at the Sam Bradford, the last year of Sam Bradford year. That's the reason why they did it. I mean, you can't give these quarterbacks. I mean, because they're like Jamarcus Russell, dude, LSU, number one, dude. Come on.
But you know what's crazy about that? A quick story. The coaches gave him some CDs. I'm not sure if you heard this, Trey, to say, hey, pick the best 10 plays that you have. And apparently, Trey, Jamarcus comes back the next day and says, hey, I love all the plays in here. The coaches actually gave him a blank disc. Jamarcus, why? You play in the SEC, man. You play in the SEC, and you disrespect that conference with that play?
Well, the LSU is not known for their. They've only had one great quarterback, and that's Joe Burrow. And I think he was a product of Joe Brady.
To be honest, Ed Origin, whatever you pronounce his name,
Orgeron.
To be honest, Trey, not to get off topic, he was on the hot seat before this guy came because I thought he was going to get the boot.
He might get the
after that season, that mediocre season that he had. I think he struck gold. And right now, I know they had a big win against Florida. I don't know if he's going to be the man for the future, Trey. I think he got lucky. He got the best gift ever.
That was Joe Brady and that offense, bringing in Joe Brady. That saved his job and that offense was elite.
I saw them when they played Georgia, and Georgia's defense held on for a little bit, but that offense was really good that year.
That's the only good LSU offense in the world, or in history that I've seen LSU play. They're known for their defense, but my God. But anyway, Adam Barber also chiming in. I actually was not impressed with Herbert at Oregon, but he proved me wrong before in the NFL.
That was my thing, Adam. He looked all right, but he didn't look like this.
All right, move on. Let's make this one quick. Vikings at Panthers. Of course, you're going to play. I don't know. Are you going to play Cook? Is the ankle going to play? The injury list is fixing to come out in about 25 minutes. Christian McCaffrey, I don't think he's still doubtful. I don't know.
He's on IR, Trey, so he's gone for 3 weeks.
Well, he's already been – did they just put him on IR?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's out for another 3 weeks. Of course, you're going to play Jefferson. You're going to play Thielen. Do you play Kirk Cousins on the cheap on DraftKings today? Maybe.
Yeah.
Cheap on DraftKings, you can have – but that Panthers defense is pretty tough. I mean, they got Stephon Gilmore, the best cornerback in the league. Well, maybe.
There's some interesting matchups, Trey, in the secondary with Gilmore there. They got a pretty good secondary. But give me the Vikings after that good win they had last – well, that unexpired win, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah.
I think their offense can get going this week. If Cooks is out, I mean, Madison's been playing, particularly what he played well last week. I think did he have 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, he's a different type. He's a good running back. He's a different type of running back, right? Like he runs in between the tackles a lot better. But Devon Cook,
this could be a shootout, though. I honestly potentially.
And because Carolina's only led 184 yards passing all season long. That's a few. But then again, Carolina hasn't played any of it. But then again, Dallas Cowboys torched that. I mean, Dak Prescott, they weren't running the ball so well.
The Vikings are so weird. From week to week, we saw them against the Cardinals, right, Trey? Lighting it up, throwing it around.
Missed field goal away from beating them. Missed field goal.
And then you see last week, they struggled. This is a weird team from week to week. Offensively, they can get going. I think they could sling it around this week. Gilmore's coming in. But give me the Vikings. The Vikings are a better team than what they show. I honestly think they're a much improved team. But give me the Vikings. But I could see Carolina winning this week, and you're starting more. Robbie Anderson, man, that dude's been horrible in fantasy football. And watch this, Trey. I'm going to say he's horrible, and then he's going to have 3 touchdowns like Gaskin did last week, where
Yep.
I said he was trash. Don't start him. And then he has 3 touchdowns. And then the week before, remember that with Henry Ruggs? I said he was trash, and
Yep.
Henry Ruggs starts a big, deep touchdown. Robbie Anderson, you're trash. And you never
That's
know.
Dude, I'm the same way with you. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to pick up like DJ Moore. Gave me nothing. And then the next week, game busters. Same thing. I mean,
I think DJ Moore
go opposite.
I think he can have a bounce back. Trey, last week he had Darius Slay on him, and Darius is a pretty good corner for the Eagles. So I think this week he gets it back going. I think this, I don't know, man. It could be a shootout. It may not, but it screams a little shootout potential. Another game where you're probably not parlaying. I don't know. And if you're parlaying this week, you're just giving a wild guess. You say, hey, you know what? I'm going to see if I can win some money.
Adam Barber, a big Packer fan. He's actually a true Packer fan. He'll tell you the Packers stink or not. But anyway, as a Packer fan, he says it's painful to say, but he has the Vikings by 7. Is it really painful? Because the Vikings aren't going to contend for the NFC North. I mean, they could. I mean, like you said, they're wildly inconsistent. They could be easily 4-1 right now. But like you said, I think it's a must-win for both teams, right? Because Tampa Bay is got off to a 4-1 victory. Carolina's got to win to stay in reaching distance of Tampa Bay. Vikings got it, but whoever wins between the Bears and Packers today got to stay in strike. It could only be after today. The Vikings could be a game back. So it's kind of a win, like a must win. I wouldn't say must win, but it's a got to get win for both teams. But Zimmer, I think, is on the hot seat. I think if he doesn't get a winning streak going, I think they're going to be done with him in Minnesota. So another good. I mean, there's a lot of great noon kickoff games today, but I'm going to go to this game, and this is another game the NFL got totally wrong. It's only a regional market game, which probably wouldn't guess that going into the game. Cardinals and Browns, 3:05 kickoff. You're only getting to watch it if you're in the Browns or the Arizona market today.
It's not the game of the week.
I'm going to say it.
It can't be the game of the week. Well, for CBS, it can.
Well, if you've seen these 3:25 kickoffs, you can see why I'm talking about this because – I mean, there's nothing going on these 3:20, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Cardinals lose this week. I think that Browns defense shows up. I think they're pissed at the way they lost last week. I think they gave over 40 points. I think Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt's going to have their way with that Arizona Cardinals rushing defense. I think Kyle Murray's been wildly. I think he has a great game, and then he has a subpar game. He's wildly inconsistent. Hopkins has been disappointments throughout the year this year. I also believe that I think it's going to catch up with them because let's just face the facts. Arizona should not be undefeated right now. Minnesota was a 44-yard field goal kick away from beating them. They probably should have lost last week. They only won by 7 points, 17-10. I think being the dog pound, I think the Cleveland Browns get the win today, and I think they stop and there's going to be no undefeated team, and the Miami Dolphins 72 team can pop the champagne if they're still living.
Listen, give me the Browns. Chubb is out today, but I think they're going to play a physical brand of football.
Oh, Chubb is out. You're right. Sorry.
Chubb's out.
But Kareem Hunt, dude, that guy's a stud. He's number 2 running back.
He's been a top.
Which, by the way, pisses me off because Nick Chubb gets him in the red zone, and then they give the ball to Kareem Hunt. When I have Nick Chubb,
I've been noticing that Chubb's still getting hit. I feel like Chubb's been having to run a little bit further for some of his touchdowns. But anyway, you know what? Give me Browns this week. It's in the dog pound. I think the Browns defense, light a fire under that defense. They got torched last week against the Chargers up and down the field. And a defense that really, they're better than that. They have more names in the secondary, Josh Johnson and a litany of corners. Give me the Browns today to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are flying high. The Cardinals haven't been playing super good after that Rams win. Give me the Browns.
I like the Browns there as well. But this is the reason I say this should be a 3:25 kickoff time because the next game is the Raiders and Broncos.
It's a rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game, but outside those markets, do we really care? I mean, the Raiders are coming back down to earth a little bit. John Gruden's no longer the head coach. I like his longtime assistant. I forgot his name. He was with the Dallas Cowboys for a little bit for the special team coordinator. He's been with John Gruden for a while. Can this guy actually really rally this team and say, hey, I'm not like John Gruden? I'm like,
Well,
come on. I mean, I just don't believe
you know what's right. It's kind of weird because the guy's been John Gruden's friend for like 20 years. And when you're a friend with someone, they see you on a daily basis. They see how you talk. And you probably talk the same as your friend. So I think Mark Davis did this in spite of the NFL. I think he was pissed off that he was probably forced to fire John Gruden. So what does he do? He hires John Gruden's closest friends. So I'm not sure because you had Gus Bradley there. Why didn't you go with Gus Bradley as the head honcho? You go with a guy who's never been a head coach in his life. But anyway, this game here, I got Darren Waller. Waller's been all right. I would like to see a little bit more targets from him for fantasy purposes. But give me the Raiders to bounce back this week. We saw unexpired last week. I wouldn't see them 2 weeks in a row. Denver's defense has been a little shaky lately. They've had some tough matchups.
This game is at Mile High.
It's in Mile High. The fans are going to be rocking there in Denver. But give me the Raiders to win on the road. The Broncos, I don't know. Something's missing. It's the quarterback.
Eddie Bridgewater had a couple good weeks, but he's come after the concussion. He's coming back down.
They're trying to run the ball. They've been okay in that aspect. Courtland Sutton caught a touchdown last week. They have pieces, Trey. I just think the Raiders, I think they come a little bit expired, but they could also have another week where they're just like, whatever. Like, they could get shellacked.
Well, here's the thing. If you watch Hard Knocks a couple of years ago, Derek Carr was John Gruden, like little baby boy, right? Like he wanted everything. Like he wanted to impress John Gruden. He wanted that feedback. He didn't want the feedback. He wanted, got a boy, good job. He's no longer there. And you can kind of see the discouraging look on Derek Carr's face.
He does, but guess what, Trey? I think he can play with a little bit more freedom, with a little more.
Good. I have to see it first. I have to see it.
A little bit more, less pressure. John's not, because you know how John can be. I mean, he'll curse you out. He'll do a bunch of stuff. I think he can play a little bit more loose and a little bit more outside the offense. I'm assuming they're going to run the same offense. They may open it up a little bit more. I think John, a lot of his play formations were really run specific, right? He was kind of a run heavy team. But I think they may open it up and you can see not a different Raider offense, but something a little bit more unique, and maybe they can get things going. They need to score points. And do not let Denver in this game. Do not keep them around because we saw against Pittsburgh, they had a late rally in that game. Just go out there and play ball. But give me the Raiders a bounce back. But the Broncos did beat the Jets, Giants, and Jags, as Adam just said. So the Broncos, I think we not overestimated how good they could be, but I thought the defense would be a little bit better these last 2 weeks, and they've been struggling. So give me the Raiders. It's a rivalry game. The Raiders don't like them. Broncos don't like them. So I don't know.
Yeah, like Adam said, they started 3-0, but yeah, they play against the Jets, Giants, and Jags, who are combined only won one game or 2 games out of all those teams. So it's kind of a fluke. But like you said, it's a rivalry game. For some reason, I'm with you. I picked the Raiders this week, but I think it's going to be closer than the experts think. I think Waller's going to have a phenomenal game today. Drake, I would play him today. I think he might have a great game as well today. Might run the ball, might be a little bit more fit, but like you said, like he kind of convinced me. He might play with a little bit more freedom, right?
Just playing a little bit differently, and just listen. We saw Carr after or before the injury that he had years ago. We saw he was an MVP candidate. Drake. He got the Raiders to the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's the same player back then, but a little bit more freedom, a little bit more less stress. You can go out there and play ball, and let's see what happens.
And for God's sake, we get Ruggs some catches today, please.
Yeah, it's interesting how they use Ruggs. I think he could be an underneath guy. Obviously, Hunter Renfrow is that kind of underneath player, but just get your players involved. The Raiders are the better team here, honestly, I think. But the Broncos are at home, and Denver's a tough place to play. So,
All right. Thank God the Cowboys play today at 3:25 to save this afternoon's slate, right? I mean,
are they the game of the week on
they
top?
are. They
Why
are.
are they always the game of the week?
Because they're playing New England.
What other games are at 3:25?
That's it. That's it. That's the final two games. Raiders, Broncos, Cowboys.
I think the problem is that Browns game is in Cleveland. That's an AFC game, so that's
And then
why.
the travel team goes to. But no, that doesn't make sense either because.
Well, no, because the AFC team is CBS, so they're at home.
Right.
So the home
But
team
usually
gets.
it's right. So the NFC, if they travel, then it's on the Fox. But this game on CBS in Dallas, I don't know how the NFL works the schedule.
It's weird how they have some of the, but normally I think it's the home team that gets the broadcast, right?
I thought it was a visiting team, but I don't know. I honestly,
I don't really know.
I think. Well, I think because of the the American League
Oh yeah, okay.
On Fox, I think that's why it's on CBS. But anyway, no. But say what you want to. The Dallas Cowboys draw a market. The Dallas Cowboys have the.
No, they do. They're the most.
They have the top 2 rated TV rating.
Well, they're the most valued franchise in sports.
They are. Jerry Jones knows how to make a quick buck, but props to Jerry Jones for getting out of the team, like letting this team have the spotlight, and he's not in the spotlight this year. Thank you, Jerry Jones, for finally letting all that. I mean, you're finally learning after 79 years of living on this earth. He's finally learning a little bit, or maybe he's nervous about these emails, but actually he can relax now because the NFL said there's no more people and wrongdoing of these, whatever the case may be. But anyway, let's get on to this game. New England gave up. They were down 22-9 in New England in Houston last week. Came back and won that game. A couple of weeks ago, gave Tom Brady everything. I mean, let's face it. Everyone's like, "Oh, New England could take close." Not really. Tom Brady, you can just tell he was out of his element. He felt very uncomfortable being there. He doesn't like all the spotlight. He didn't like anything like that. And then you saw the following week he threw for 5 touchdowns. He's back in his element. So let's not give all the New England credit. This might be the last year we see Bill Belichick as a New England head coach if they don't start winning. I think Robert Kraft, all the turmoil and everything going on over there in New England, I think Robert Kraft wanted to keep Tom Brady, whatever the case may be, wherever cited. But I think you're starting to see the real true Bill Belichick's kind of game. He's been there, 22 years as a head coach? I mean, my God, I think it's time to see a new scenery. It's not the same team. But like I said, the Dallas Cowboys – man, they keep running the ball like they're running. They keep that offensive line healthy. All the stars are playing today. I know they had a little nicks and bruises, but they said everyone's playing today. They have a bye week. This could be a trap game. This is why I'm kind of scared about this game. This is a trap game because they're hearing the hype. They're hearing all the highlight videos, how everyone's like this. They're the number 2 team in the NFL right now. Even Stephen A. Smith has them as number 2. I don't know. That's because he wants to let them believe the hype, and then they come back down to earth. But this is a different Dallas Cowboy team. I've been saying it. The aura feels different. The chemistry just feels different. I like this Dallas Cowboy team, but this could be the bye week next week. Going to New England, trap game. I don't know, but I still have the Cowboys winning by 3. But as long as Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard run the ball and the offensive line stays healthy, Dak Prescott, he's going to do what he has to do. Only question I have, can you please let CeeDee Lamb have some red zone touches in the end zone instead of Amari Cooper? For God's sake, I need some fantasy points, Gio. Come on.
We're going with the Cowboys here. They're the better football team. But I could see Bill coming up with a decent game plan and trying to get this going. But the game of the Cowboys, they're just a better football team right now than the Patriots. It's just pretty obvious. But the game's in New England. Not sure how the weather's going to be. If it's anything like here, it's probably going to be windy. So give me the Cowboys. This should be part of your parlay pick. The Cowboys should win this game. But as we say, Trey, teams flying high. What happens?
Yep, you're right.
Team will play you right down to earth. But
the Cowboys, the Cowboys have to keep winning. They have their goal can't be win the division, right? It can't be. Like, you have to get home field advantage. You have to get, because the Rams and the Buccaneers are your, maybe even the Packers, but I think the Cowboys can beat the Packers for some odd reason. I just think that they're a better football team than the Packers. But to keep with the Rams and the Buccaneers, because this year there's only one. I mean, from now on there's only one bye. The number one seed gets the bye, and so your goal can't be the division, because they're going to win this division because the division sucks. Their goal has to be keeping up with and getting that home field. And so they can't be looking at the division. They have to start looking at the Buccaneers, like the Rams. The Rams are the number one. Well, I would say the Cardinals, but the Cardinals have to prove it to me. I don't think this team. I think this team's fixing to fall. I just believe that. But the only question I have in this game is, does Diggs get another interception? I don't think so. I think Bill Belichick is telling Mac Jones, do not throw it to Trayvon. Don't throw it to Trayvon. Don't throw it to Trayvon. But the problem with that is he ain't a one-sided corner. Trayvon goes all over the field. So Mike Jones might lose who's covering which receiver. I hope Trayvon gets interception, but I can see where Trayvon doesn't get interception this week. But that defense is ball hawking. They're getting better and better each week. They create turnovers. You don't say that in this defense. I mean, Dan Quinn's doing a phenomenal job with his Dallas Cowboys defense. It's like Lovie Smith, right? He's not a good head coach, but if you just keep him on the defensive side and just focus on that, he does a phenomenal job on doing that. But yeah, like you said, give me the Cowboys. But like you said, Bill Belichick, he comes up with a good scheme, but will it be enough? I don't think so. I think Dallas Cowboys get the win in this one, but who knows? I could see the Cowboys losing this game as well. So the Cowboys just going to have to prove
it. It's the NFL, and we saw last week Texans, they could have won, right? This is just a week-to-week thing. Cowboys should win this game, but it's on the road. It's a week before a bye week, and you just never know where players are at mentally. You know? So we'll see.
The Cowboys, and they're not even healthy on the defensive side. They're going to get Tank Lawrence back here in a couple of weeks. They get Lionel Collins back after the bye week. So this Cowboy team's only going to get stronger and better if they stay healthy. The key for the Cowboys is staying healthy and getting to the bye week unscathed. Now let's get to the boringest Sunday night football game in the world. This looked like a phenomenal game when they first started, but Ben Roethlisberger, he finally threw the ball deep, but I don't think he can do it again. I think he had an ice pack on his shoulder all week. I think he had to put some heat and ice on it all week. No Russell Wilson. He's out 4 to 8 weeks he's pretty much done for the year with his torn finger. The defense of Seattle sucks, which is hard to say because of that Legion. They're far away from that Legion of Boom days. This game's in Pittsburgh. I think I'll take the Steelers in this one just for shits and giggles.
You know what, Trey? I'm going with an upset here.
All right.
Seattle beating Pittsburgh.
A fan of Geno, huh?
Geno Smith, man. You know what? I know it's just a game that the Rams didn't prepare for Geno Smith, but
that's the thing that's different. It's different coming into a game because the team hasn't prepared for you than whenever you have a week's worth of.
But how much film does someone? I didn't
know Geno Smith was still in the league. I thought he was out.
You might have film from him from the Jets, but you don't really have much film from Geno Smith, which could be a beneficial factor for the Seahawks. I don't like the Seahawks. I hate the Seahawks. We play them twice a year. But give me Seattle in an upset game on the road. The Steelers are flying high. The Seahawks are flying low. I think Pete Carroll can get this team to win, and I'm going for the upset. Now, for fantasy purposes, Lockett, Metcalf, I think those two guys are still a go. Carson's still out, right? I think he's still out.
He went on IR.
Okay, so you got DJ Dallas and Collins, the other guy I think he has dreads. But that's right about it. And for Pittsburgh, you're going to start Najee Harris. You're starting your guys against this team. The Seahawks defense is not very good. The Rams. Honestly, Trey, the Rams could have threw for 500 yards.
Yeah.
If they weren't shaky in that first damn half, the Rams could have thrown for like 500 yards. Ben is not throwing for 500 yards because his arm can't throw past. You saw him with ice, Trey. I mean, the guy you can't sling it.
No, this is last year a bit. I don't think they should have brought him back. But yeah.
My thing is, though, Trey, is that they didn't prepare. You didn't prepare for his exit. As a coaching staff or as a team, you need to prepare. Why are you letting Ben Roethlisberger hijack your team? Did you not just
true. They brought in Haskins.
Trey, that is not preparing for the future.
But you know what? Haskins, I feel like Ron Rivera wasn't the great coach for him for the maturity level, right? I feel like Mike Tomlin is a better situation for him because he's a leader.
My thing, Trey, is you're wasting this team.
That's true too.
You're wasting a talent for a year just to let Ben end it. No, do you know Bill Belichick would have cut Ben Roethlisberger probably several years ago.
3 year ago, he would have cut him.
3 or 4 years ago, he would have cut him. Honestly, we saw Bill try to get Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
Or he wanted to keep him
and trade Tom Brady.
And that was Tom at the peak of a Super Bowl. So he would have cut Ben Roethlisberger. Tomlin, what are you doing? What are you doing? He doesn't have it. I get it. He's been with your franchise for 20 years. But guess what? Joe Montana also played for the Kansas City Chiefs. It happens, right? It happens. It's okay, right? Patrick Ewing played for the Seattle Supersonics. I bet you half the people don't even know that. It's okay. It happens in this league. But my Lord, it's just a waste of a year. Honestly.
I think this, like you said, I think this is the day that Najee Harris gets going. I think they finally figured it out. I'm saying I think a lot. I know that this run defense stinks. I look for Mike Tomlin. They run the ball a little bit more today with the beat up offensive line that they have. The offensive line cycle, but I think they get things rolling with it today with Najee Harris and stuff. But let's move on to the final game of the week. It's a good Monday Night Football game. Derrick Henry and the boys face those Buffalo Bills, the best team in the AFC. I'm with Gio. I'm with you on this one. I think the Titans get the victory.
I think the Titans.
I think the Buffalo Bills played their Super Bowl last week. I feel like they're feeling high. I know that they're excited. That's the best team. I know Pittsburgh probably woke them up after that horrible week 1, but I just believe it's too much Derrick Henry, right? Too much. I mean, that guy gets stronger and stronger as the season goes on and as the game goes on. I like the Titans in this one. I think Julio. I think they're getting all the receivers back this week. Give me the Titans. I think it's a close one, but I think they win by 3 points.
I made Trey a believer. I think the Titans. I just something about this week, and they've been playing well past few weeks. Tannehill hasn't been great, though their receiving core has been kind of hurt. Right, they've had guys in and out of the lineup. They should be ready to go for this week. Give me Tennessee. Listen, the Bills are good. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be in the hunt. Allen's been tremendous. He's been phenomenal.
Zach Moss has been surprised to me this year.
Zach Moss has been playing well. I haven't seen much of Singletary.
No.
Or maybe
Singletary starts, but then Moss gets
Moss is there. Emmanuel Sanders killed me last week with his 2 touchdowns. No one's going to be surprised if Bills win. But give me the Tennessee Titans on an upset. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, the King. I think they can pull it out this week.
Is Derrick Henry your MVP right now?
So if you're looking at the landscape of how quarterbacks are playing, he's probably third right now because I think Justin
Herbert.
Chargers, Herbert has been. I think he's number 1 right now. 1, give me Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's just been playing phenomenal. I know he had a bad kind of up and down game. I think he's going to be in there. Give me Derek for number 3. Stafford's been playing well too, but we're going to get some love for some of these for a running back to win an MVP. The thing is, though, you have to be extraordinary. Like when Adrian Peterson won the MVP trade, he had like 2,000 yards and
100 yards rushing. And
yeah, it's like you need to be 15 touchdowns, 20 touch. Like you really need to be on that. And he's on. I think he's on. Man, he's had three. I think he's had 2-3 touchdown games this year. I mean, he's on pace. He keeps it up, but it's a long season, man, and you got to keep him fresh. We saw in that playoff game last year, he just didn't look really good. Now it had something to do with the Ravens, but I think you got to put Henry up there. I think he's been great. He's been consistent. Trey, he doesn't get hurt. I mean, you look at Christian McCaffrey, Cooks, right?
Yeah.
Eric Henry doesn't get hurt.
That's why
we never hear about his backup. I don't even know who his backup is. I think it's Nichols or some guy back there.
That
But
guy doesn't take any snaps off or anything. That guy's a beast. He just gets stronger and stronger as the day and the season goes on.
he does. We saw against Seattle, Trey. He was getting stuffed, and then he ended up with 3 touchdowns, and it's like,
How many times do we hear that? They're like, we were watching the broadcast. Oh, Derrick Henry only has 20 yards rushing and midway through the second quarter, and then all of a sudden he has 150 in the third quarter. I mean, this guy is just a beast.
I think he's been franchise tagged, right?
I think he might have signed a deal.
Which is weird to me. He should be the highest paid running back in the league, honestly.
Yeah, not Zeke Elliott, but anyway. That's
whatever.
But Zeke's having a good year this year, though. I mean, granted, it's that offensive line. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves.
No, Zeke's been playing well, and they've been also giving a lot of run for the backup trade, which I think is helping.
Yes, and he's embracing it. He's embracing it too. So that's what I like about it.
Listen, man, there's nothing. I think split backs. I think it works a lot more in the NFL. I mean, look at what the Rams with Henderson and Sony Michel. It would have been Henderson and Cam Akers, but Cam out for the year. But I think split backs. I mean, the Panthers got McCaffrey, but their backup
Hubbard.
Yeah, he's been playing. I saw him play. He plays pretty well. He looks like Christian McCaffrey. Like it's almost the same mold. So, but McCaffrey, Trey, I think I'm not saying he's done, but he's been used a lot. Yeah. And we might start to see a wear and tear of him because he's never missed. I mean, before this year, he really didn't miss much.
Well, last year he missed a lot of games.
Yeah. I'm saying, yeah. So leading up to last year, and they paid him. He hasn't been playing much, but whenever he plays, he's good, man. He's good for 100 combined yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's why when people was like, "Man, you're not taking Christian McCaffrey number one," I'm like, "No," because last year scared me, and I think that, like you said, that wear and tear is trying to catch up with them. Yeah, same thing with Devon Cook. Once you start paying these running backs, they start going downhill. That's why I say don't pay running backs unless it's Henry.
Unless it's Henry or prime Adrian Peterson.
Exactly.
Or LaDainian Tomlinson.
But that was back in the day when they actually ran the football more than they threw it. But now,
it's crazy to think that LaDainian Tomlinson had like 30 touchdowns in the season. Yeah. That's remarkable.
That guy was probably the best running back, or not the best, but
honestly, when you have a guy like that in fantasy football, having 2 touchdowns or just being so valuable, man. But you know what? I have Nick Chubb in every league this year, which is kind of funny. I mean, he's out, so Chubb is always out at least 1 or 2 games a year. But
he just needs a little rest.
Man, the Browns can run. But anyway,
that's it. That's all the games. If anyone's watching us instead of the Jacksonville-Miami great game, Jacksonville actually has the lead 17-13 in the third quarter.
I think we picked Jacksonville on Thursday, Trey.
Yes, we did. But I think I switched my pick on the fantasy Yahoo thing. Now I'm kind of regretting it. I don't know. I have to go back and check. I mean, I'm in last. That's how competitive our league is. Like someone's in first place, but they're only like 1 point ahead of everybody. Like I'm in last place and I'm behind by 2 points.
I think I forgot about putting any place. So I'm probably in last place.
Wait, you're just a busy man, Gio. But anyway, man, we wrapped up everything from the league. But man, those Georgia Bulldogs proved again, no one's beating them. I'm telling you,
it was 30-7 in the fourth
And
quarter.
people said it was going to be a competitive game. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You can't score on this Georgia defense, even though Kentucky
And
did.
Trey, you know what's crazy? They've had injuries on that deep. Like they have guys who are out for the year. Like
who's number 99 on the defensive side?
That's Jordan Davis, man. That is a man.
He needs to be Heisman. You consider him for a Heisman.
I saw a play. I didn't get the chance to watch the entire game, but there was a third down play. It was 3rd and 1, and they ran the other side. But Jordan Davis is so strong. He literally pushed the offensive lineman into the other back, and you're just looking. Georgia's recruiting class the past few years. Kirby's first year wasn't great. They won like 7 games, but normally that first year, depending on how that team is, you know it's going to take some years to get players in there. But Trey, they've been getting some great players in there. They might get the Manning boy. I mean, Georgia football right now, I'm not trying to jinx or anything, but they're looking dominant right now. And we saw what happened to Iowa, and I wasn't sold. I said that Alabama was the number 2 team in the country to me.
I still don't think Alabama. Well, this year they could be, but any other year Alabama would not be the number 2 team.
So,
like if you get those Oklahoma teams back with Baker Mayfield, Kyle Murray,
Oklahoma might run the table though, and they might get into the playoffs.
Big 12 sucks, man. Oklahoma State might give them a ride though. That defense for Oklahoma State, they blitz you but
Gundy, he's 40 and I'm a man. Well, no, it says I'm 40.
I love that guy. But the problem with Oklahoma
I think it's time for him. I think he should try a new team. How many? He's been here since what? 01? 02?
Yeah, he's been here forever.
He hasn't won many Big 12 championships, right? I think he's only won like 2, maybe.
I think he won one with Des Bryant here. I think that's it. I think all the rest has been Oklahoma and Texas.
You know, Oklahoma State, they've been good, but just not even at that status.
No. There's not, except for Georgia, there is not a great team this year. Alabama's not even a great team. That defense is suspect. I mean, they only gave up 9 points.
What's funny, Trey, is that Georgia's JT Daniels has been hurt. So they've been starting Stetson Bennett
He's been balling out. Like I said, this year is the year if you just really look at it, college football needs to go to an 8 or 12-man football team. Cincinnati, I don't know what to think of them. They beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's really not all that great this year.
Well, listen, they gave Georgia a run for its money in that I don't know if it was the Sugar Bowl last year. It was one of these big time.
Yeah, but Georgia sits out all their top players.
I know. When it gets to those games, I honestly think that some of the players, Trey, are not, at least for some of the big teams. Listen, the smaller teams love bowl games. I mean, it's a frenzy. But for some of the big teams who don't make it to the playoffs, I do think there's a letdown. And I'm not saying that even when we played Texas that year and we lost, I don't know if Georgia's heart was.
They weren't. And they still almost won that game.
Yeah, completely in that game. But because, when you're in the SEC, man, you play. Listen, man, Florida, Dan Mullen right now, Florida Gator fans are not. And Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, who is that guy, he was at Georgia for a while. He got the boot after the defense just collapsed. But Dan Mullen's, I don't know, Trey. It's not looking good for Dan. I think they bring him back one more year, though. I don't see him firing him this year.
Well, their backup quarterback's transferring. The quarterback they should be starting. Forgot his name.
It's crazy. Georgia's probably have already won the East because Florida's already lost 3 SEC.
They already won it.
Florida's lost. I will say, though, for Georgia, do not take Florida lightly in that game.
No, it's a rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game.
Well, you saw Florida almost beat Alabama. Probably should have beat Alabama. They played in the first half. That's why I'm not sold on Alabama, man. But they're going to get 2 teams. I thought they were going to get 3 teams in if Florida kept winning. But this year is just a down year for college. I mean, there's not a great team this year except for Georgia. Georgia, maybe Alabama in that second tier.
I just want to stay even keel. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Georgia has broken my heart, Trey, a few times over the past few years, losing to a team they have no business losing to. But so far, even if they do lose to Florida, they have a hiccup. They're going to
still
the
get-
SEC.
They're going to, and then they beat and they win that game. They're in the They're in the Final Four. Alabama has one more tough game against Auburn. That game can go either way. If A&M wins out and Auburn beats Alabama, I think that game is in Auburn. You might see Georgia and A&M.
No, I know.
And who would have thought that?
I made I actually thought about that. If they lose again, Texas A&M wins out, which
it could happen because they don't play anybody anymore.
Yeah, they don't play Georgia this year. They already played Florida, so I don't know, Trey. We could see an A&M Bulldog Jimbo Fisher.
Dude, if they didn't lose those 2 games, man.
They're paying Jimbo a lot of money, man. A lot of money.
Too much money.
You know, Kirby's only the 6th highest paid coach in the SEC.
He's fixing to get a pay raise if he wins the national championship this year.
No, he's going to get paid.
He was 1 4th down play away from being a national champion. Stupidest defensive play call in the history. Whatever. We won't get into that. Anyway, I'll let you go, man. I mean, it's already 10:30. Injury reports have come out. Let everyone go check out those.
Hey, do your parlays. Go on Busher.com, DraftKings, whatever you use. Put those plays in this week. And also, don't forget to follow Project Spurs for your Spurs news. You know what? I've been following them, Trey, since I think 2011. And I've been following them for a long time. They got a ton of great writers there. Steven Anderson. They got a ton of guys there. Draft coverage, NBA coverage of Project Spurs. Go follow them on Twitter as well as projectspurs.com for your Spurs content. That's where I go for the entire year. So, though I don't get ready for basketball until around January, but still.
No, I'll make sure you do follow them on. You there? Okay, sorry, I had a hiccup. Anyway. Yeah, go follow them. I mean, it's a good follow. Follow them on Twitter. They need some Twitter love over there. They're a good follow. Mark DeLeon over there.
I think Michael DeLeon should be verified, man. That guy's a
Spur fan now, man.
If you type in his name, I think Michael should. And I don't know if Michael's ever tried, or even if he really cares about it. But I think Michael should be verified. I mean, he's been on Twitter for a long time. He's been. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty positive he'll get verified. But you know what? Michael's pretty low key, so he probably doesn't even care about that. But
okay, so real quick, Mike Williams with the Charger. He is upgraded to active today, so he's going to be playing. So it's going to help the Chargers today. Anyway, so yeah, go follow Project Spurs. They need some Wednesday show, just a preview. We're going to talk top 25 a little bit, college football, because we got to show some college football some love. Top 25 ranking comes out later today. Will UTSA finally be ranked? Who knows? Arkansas is going to be out of the top 25. Florida's going to be out of the top 25. UTSA, dude, I'm telling you, McCormick, the running back, that guy is a stud. He only had 11 carries for 111 yards. He was averaging 10 yards a carry. I know it's against Rice, but this guy is a bona fide stud. Frank Harris is a good quarterback, a great quarterback. They have the defense. The UTSA is up and coming.
If they go undefeated, do you see a New Year's Bowl game for them?
No, because you have East Carolina. You have.
They're always.
If they were good, if they were being this dominant for a couple of years, yes, that's the problem, right? Like East Carolina had that good year last year. Cincinnati might get they're going to be out because I think they might be in the Final Four.
Are they going to the Big 12, Cincinnati?
Yeah, Cincinnati, Houston, BYU. I forgot the other team.
I think for UTSA, for a program like that, if you have to continue to do this, right?
Yeah, if they went to the big, if they had like 3 or 4 great years, like if they consistently, UTS or Big 12 might have offered them a spot because that recruiting class, Jeff Tretter's getting a lot of good recruits. They just got a great wide receiver from Dayton Geyer, and we all know how good Dayton Geyer is over here in the Fort Worth Metroplex area. But if they go to the Big 12 with that TV market deal, they would be getting a lot of recruits. I'm telling you.
No, I think don't they have a new stadium coming up?
Yes, I
I
believe
believe
so.
So
That dome is too big for them.
no, they need something a little bit more manageable. The Alamo Dome is.
They had about close to 30. They had 27,155 fans here for homecoming last week. I mean, they were ruckus. They loved it. Now, me and Rudy went and walked the tailgate aisle. Oh my god, dude! It was so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
the music was. It felt like a true college town. That's what it brought out to be. The student section was rocking. It was just a great atmosphere. So UTSA, you better start paying Jeff Traylor because he's going to be. He might be gone to Tech
Yeah,
next year.
I'm planning on going to a Northwestern game here in the Big Ten, and probably next week, or I think the week after, I'm going to head over
Next week they're having the Big Ten, the big game, the big noon game.
Hold up, because I think Northwestern's playing Iowa in a few weeks. That was going to be a big.
Not anymore. Iowa's it's big. It's Ohio State. Ohio State wins out. They're getting the Final Four.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I could probably head to the Minnesota Northwestern game, October 30th. Okay, I mean it's Northwestern football. I don't know if it's gonna feel like college football there, but hey, they're in the Big Ten regardless. So
yeah, it's fun to watch tonight. You get to watch a Big Ten football game. So, but anyway. Make sure you go to United Collision Care Center for any deep dunks in your car. They loosen those guys will take good care of you. Follow Project Spurs. That's a good follow. Mark DeLeon. He needs, like Julio says, he needs to be verified. That guy's been on Twitter since 2008 when Twitter first opened.
Trey, I think that he's probably not even. He probably doesn't even care about that.
He probably he doesn't. No. See, that's the difference between guys like that and guys like me. I'm pissed because I only got 300 followers and I want more. Like, I get excited when I see someone follow me. I'm like, yes, and then whatever.
You know what, Trey? I think a good thing for followers is also they have a ton of people that do follow trains. Yes. And I only do follow trains for sports with people that actually have like their actual photos. Because like there's like parody accounts on Twitter.
Yes.
Which I do follow, but those follow trains for like certain fan bases, like Cowboy fans, stuff like that. That's also a good way to
I did that a couple of weeks ago. Like a lot of Cowboy fans were like, let's follow each Cowboy. And I did that. And I got like 20 followers.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you keep doing it like every day, you'll.
Yeah, I might do it today.
Yeah.
I might go to different fan bases too. Because, I'm not biased or anything.
I think I have like 600 or something like that.
Well, because
most of them like all Rams fans.
Well, if you're Coach Gio with 1-0 instead of, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get that Twitter. It's kind of bothering me, but I should message him again.
He's good. He's probably not even on Twitter anymore.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, you think I can have this username? You know what, Trey? He's probably gonna ask for money.
$300 for your Twitter. Like jersey. Hey, I'll pay you $1 million for your jersey number. But anyway. Oh, man. Oh, well, I almost forgot about this. Big show tonight. Sweep the League with the radio show. Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin. Met good Derek. Great guy last night. 2-hour show. Not just an hour show. 2-hour show at 9:30 a.m. The Answer. If you're not here in the market, you can go to the website at 9:30 a.m. The Answer to listen or get the app. 7 to 9, they'll have all your NBA season starts Tuesday. They'll start talking about that. Little Jerry Jones talk tonight. I don't know why they're talking about Jerry Jones. They'll be following the Sunday night football game as well. 2 hours of nonstop football talk. It might go off a little bit. I think there was talk about a one-on-one basketball challenge in the near future. If Rudy scores on Derek, then something's going to happen to Derek. I don't know what it's going to be, but maybe that would come up. But Derek's a tall guy, dude. That guy met him last night. Ooh, I thought I was tall. Made me look short. So Rudy's even shorter than I am. So, but make sure you check out those guys over there from 7 to 9, 9:30 a.m. That's the Answer. I probably need to start calling it the Sports Answer because, man, we're getting a lot of shows over there on 9:30 a.m. It's going to be your go-to to sport for everything sports. But anyway, we swept. This ain't swept the league. We got your fantasy countdown. Hopefully, gave you all some great insight of your fantasy players, who to play, who not to play. Enjoy the games today. It's going to be a beautiful day here in South Texas. 69 degrees is the high here in San Antonio Metroplex area. No wind, beautiful sunshine. If you're not going to watch football, go out and enjoy the day, but you better be watching some football. Until Wednesday night, we're going to have a great show for you on Wednesday. For Coach Gio, I'm Trey. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Coach Gio, as 2 O's, and me at Trey 3025 in Hartsville MLB, and Will at Will Nation 7, and also Rudy at Sweep the League. Once again, this has been our show. Hope y'all enjoy y'all Sunday and enjoy the week. Thank y'all, and bye.